Family Feud, what's up? Week number 8, Swami edition. Coming to you this week from Ormond Beach, Florida. I'm going to do a quick little playoff, way too early playoff recap, and then we'll get into the picks. Going to go ahead and keep putting picks out every week. I'd like to see the by the numbers and some other projections out there, but hey, guys, I know that it's over the course of a season. Bringing this every single week and having it ready by Thursday's tough. Trying to keep doing it. So as I sit right now, the Swami is 22-13 on the season. Not terrible, not great, kind of right in the middle. Way too early playoff projections right now. The 6 teams, if the season were to end today, you'd have your number 1 seed with the undefeated Winos as the number 1 seed. The Orange Crush would be the number 2 seed by virtue of tie breaks and the winner of the Hold'em division. True Blue would be our number 3 seed. Blakesta's Gangstas as the 4 seed. Dreads comes in as your number 5 seed. And holding down the last spot right now, the Triple T's by virtue of point scoring tiebreak. Your first team out, number 7, is Boats and Hose. He's only 11 points back out of the last playoff spot. And Crimson, on virtue of 2 straight wins, sitting in the number 8 hole, 43 points behind right now. Nerd Puppets and Dirte sitting at 1 and 6 are a full 2 games back. But it's not too late. It's going to have to begin this week, though. So there's your way too early playoff projections. Let's get into the picks. Like I said, 22-13 on the year. Looked at the games pretty close this week. I hope to start making up some ground. I would like everybody to know that RT, if you go to the scoreboard now, is putting their own projections in there. So I'm going to twist it up a little bit this week and give you the RT line and the Swami line with each one of the picks. So let's start off here. Dirte at Boats and Hose. Interestingly enough, in this game, Dirte is favored by 6.5 by the RT crew. Whatever ranking system that they use has our 1 and 6 Dirte as a favorite over Boats and Hose. I'm sure that will light a fire over in Daytona Beach. I'll be interested to see what kind of talk comes out of that. But, you know, looking at the game, I'm having a hard time seeing where he is favored there. I do expect a pretty good game from Cam Newton at home against Indianapolis, and Forte just does it every single week. I'm having a hard time seeing a team that has Isaiah Kroll as their second back being favored, but you know, 3 and 4 weeks ago, Kroll had a couple of good weeks. Cobb has yet to get going, and Steve Smith has been pretty solid. Boats having a little bit of struggle with the injuries. Dion Lewis missed a week, and Belichick pulled a Belichick in the backfield at New England, and Fitzgerald and Marshall came back to earth on the same week. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen there. As far as this week goes, though, I see this as a relatively medium scoring game, but I'm going to go against what RT picks there. Dirte hasn't shown enough yet, and Boats and Hose has been scrapping, so let's go Boats by 3 in that game. Okay, moving on. Next game we have got what could have been game of the week, but because Winos had so many game of the weeks, let's go Dreadheads at Wiry Winos. Winos definitely gets our owner of the first half. Undefeated, unprecedented start in the Family Feud. Has been absolutely ripping it up. But you know what? Here comes Dreadheads, hitting his stride. Devontae Freeman and Todd Gurley, nothing looks scarier than that right now. And add to the mix Phillip Rivers, who throws it 50 times a game, and Odell Beckham Jr., and the nice pickup of John Brown. This Dreadheads team, probably his best ever. Go ahead and say it is his best ever. But here's comes the Winos. Tom Brady on a Thursday night. Marshawn Lynch is finally starting to get rolling. Demarius coming off of a bye week. And DeAndre Hopkins didn't do much last week, so you know he's kind of due. Winos plug in Gary Barnidge in a trade. So that lineup is going to be just fine. RT has Dreads favored by 11 in this game. That's a lot. Now, the Winos have some tough matchups this week, and Dreadheads have some pretty good matchups this week, and I hate picking against an undefeated team, but I just see too much Dreadheads this week. I'm going to go Dreadheads in a close one, in a high-scoring close one. Dreadheads by 2. Sorry, Winos. You're probably going to win that one. You've been winning everything. It's just what I see on paper. Blakesta's Gangstas at True Blue. Right now, RT shows True Blue favored by 16 in this game, but that's because Bortles is on a bye for the Gangsta. Has not put it in yet. I would imagine after putting his quarterback in, we're going to see Gangsta favored by a couple, by RT in that one. Le'Veon Bell looking good. Jeremy Hill starting to get into the mix a little bit more. And the addition of Alshon Jeffries looking really good for Blakesta's Gangstas. And Julio still doing his thing. True Blue, even though Indianapolis hasn't done a lot, they still have scored some points in coming from behind. Luck has been getting his points even though he hasn't been quarterbacking very well. It's been enough for fantasy purposes since we don't take off for fumbles and interceptions in this league. And, nice pickup with Hilton. Explodes in the first game after getting off Triple T's roster. And Lamar Miller has been the midseason pickup of the year so far. As far as I see it this week, I think when Blakesta's Gangstas puts a quarterback in, it's going to be enough to get by in this game. I don't really like the matchups of True Blue this week, although his team is looking much better, and I expect more high scores from him moving forward. But this week, I'm going to pick the Gangsta by 6 in this one. Nerd Puppets at Crimson. 2 high-scoring teams. Crimson has really turned it around, winning 2 straight. Nerds have continued to score high and continued to lose. I believe they're sitting as the 3rd highest scoring team in the league at 1-6. Amazing. Bad luck, Johnny. This week, RT has the Nerds favored by 13.5 in this game. And looking over the games, I look at Crimson's roster, and it's an interesting roster. A lot of his games, I think, depend on the actual game flow in the NFL game. Starting running backs of Danny Woodhead and Giovanni Bernard. Those are pass-catching backs. If they get behind, those 2 are going to have big games. If they're up, they should probably have good games, just not great games. Rodgers at Denver might be a tough matchup, but the last time he played them, he had 4 touchdowns passing and 2 running. Peterson at Chicago's a good matchup. And Keenan Allen, although he's a little bit banged up, is on pace to set the most reception record ever in the NFL. The way I see it this week, I don't see it as a 13.5-point game like RT does, but I do see the Nerd Puppets finally getting one, but in a very close one. Swami's going to go Nerd Puppets by 1 in that game. And in the game of the week, I reserve this right as a married battle. Orange Crush at Triple T's, division leading Orange Crush against last playoff position Triple T's. Triple T's dumped the entire roster last week, and it paid off with a victory. Jonathan Stewart got plugged into the lineup. Addition of Amari Cooper in a trade. Dante Moncrief was an addition. He finds the bench this week as A.J. Green is back from bye. But Big Ben is back. Now, what we're going to get from him after an injury, I don't know. And it's a tough matchup against Cincinnati, but it's good to have Roethlisberger back. The Triple T's have absolutely struggled with quarterback going back 2 or 3 years now. Anything, these 30-point games that these other teams get, 35-point games from their quarterback is unheard of on the Triple T's. A nice 20 would be okay with the T's. Orange Crush just keeps winning. Threw up 102 last week. Her running backs are really what have carried her. Mark Ingram and Doug Martin have really done it for her this year. Joseph Randall seems to be in some trouble. She's going to have to make some adjustments at backup. But she's got to be super happy with Big Ben coming back with Antonio Brown on staff. His numbers fell through the basement when Roethlisberger was out, but I expect him to get back and going again. And she stuck with Ebron. Been a really nice surprise this year. And through the addition of Matt Stafford. This week, RT has the Triple T's favored by 8. I see it as a closer game than that. And at risk of having a very silent household this week, Swami is going to pick the Triple T's by 1 in this game. Although the way that this season has gone, I would not be surprised if the Crush wins by 20. I'm going to go with a gut and my optimism that the Triple T's have turned it around and righted the ship. So there you have it. Good luck Thursday night. Good game tonight. Miami at New England. Should be some fantasy implications coming from that game. So stay healthy. Make a run. Make a push to the playoffs. And hope to see everybody soon. Okay? Swami's out.